Hello everybody and welcome to Energetic Principles Horoscopes for this Leo season. My name is Melissa LaFara and I am an astrologer and tarot reader from San Diego, California. And today we're going to talk about what's in store for this Leo season. So let's get started.
And may the stars be with you.
All right, Capricorn and Capricorn Rising. So what does this Leo season have in store for you? Well, there's a lot of astro juice out there right now, and this is a very active month as far as the planets are concerned. And let's start off with an unusual event that will be happening this Leo season, and that's the fact that we're going to have two new moons. So the first new moon in Leo is going to happen on Sunday, July 23rd. And then we're going to have another boost of that same vitality come around on Monday, August 21st, when we'll have our Great American Solar Eclipse in Leo. So with all this new moon and eclipse action, there's a lot of endings and beginnings that are happening for people in their lives. And we're gaining new vitality in certain areas. And for the Capricorns, it's really about gaining new vitality around your own personal power and how you can really honor your passions. What is it that you're passionate about? How can you go after that? How can you have that singularity of focus to, really invest in your own passions? And that being said, sometimes when we want to invest in what we're passionate about, we have to lay boundaries down because when we decide what it is we really value, we have to put some structure around that and let certain things in and keep certain things out in order for us to honor that passion. So chances are a lot of these areas can come up in your life right now, and it's also an area of shared resources. So if you need to collaborate with someone, or you need some financial backing for something, or you might need a loan or whatever, like this, there's a lot of solar juice here that is really, tapping into that energy to make it a reality. And it's also a time where we can really gain self-awareness around our own compulsions and our own obsessive qualities, because passion is not too far from obsession, right? Sometimes that line is mixed, and so you might have to kind of address things that you're passionate about and then things that you might be a little obsessive about, and how you might be able to give that new life and release the other. Because ultimately this is Leo season and it's a time for self-expression. So you need to set up boundaries in your life that allow you to be able to express yourself. Because if you don't open up to certain things, how are you going to express yourself in there? Or if you're giving away all your time, in a sense, then you have no time left for yourself to do what it is that you love and that you enjoy. So really for Capricorns, I feel these double new moons, especially that solar eclipse, which you're really going to see action in your life in about 8 months or so, is here to transform your life. This is the kind of astrological makeup that can really bring a lot of change and transformation to you. So how can you embrace that and ride that wave? So the next transit I want to talk about is Friday, August 4th, when we're going to have Jupiter in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. And this is a transit that's been going on a long time. It had its first conjunction, started its cycle back in late 2007. So this is how old this issue is and how long we've been working on it. And this is a societal thing, so you might not feel it like it's right in your life, but you feel this underbelly and you're probably going to see it in the public. But how it relates to you is basically, for the past 8 years or so, you've been working on your own individuality, stepping into your own power, being a leader of sorts, and renovating your own personality to suit where you are today. You've been going, it's kind of essentially like an identity makeover after makeover after makeover for you in the past how many years, but it's getting you to a place to be very strong, and there's a lot that you've grown with Jupiter in that area of career and your social standing. Like chances are over the past year or so, probably you've gained a lot of power in an area in your career or being the boss in a sense. So just know right now there could be actually some challenges around that, you know, because with power comes the need to be able to relate diplomatically to other people. You can't just bulldoze people over. You got to have this like, it's challenging to have this kind of like compassionate, diplomatic, you know, exchange with people, especially in a career or public setting. But diplomacy is your friend. So even if it's challenging, just know that that is an area of your own career growth, is to be able to relate to people in a more fair way. So just also know it's time to really grow your own ambitions in life and what it is that you're going after. And to be honest, you might feel incredibly ambitious right now, and you might feel a little lacking personally, but don't feel that, because you have the juice behind you to basically take you to where it is that you want to go. So where do you want to go, Capricorn? How can you step into that power? So the next aspect I want to talk about is Monday, August 7th, which we're going to have our full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And so when we have a full moon of any type, there's a release element to it. But when it's an eclipse, we're really releasing. We're letting things go. And so you might be releasing old emotional patterns around your self-esteem and how confident you are in your talents and your abilities and your ability to manifest. You know, at times you might feel a little weird or that others won't like you, and it kind of holds you back by considering what the populace thinks, or that you might be a little stranger than most. Well, you're no stranger than the rest of us, so go ahead and release yourself of that fear, and just know that your uniqueness actually brings you a lot of value. So that being said, I feel like you might have an emotional reaction, or there might be some type of apex around your own finances and your abundance. And maybe, you know, maybe even debt. I don't know if any of you got some debt going, especially with all these 8th house considerations over the next, over this Leo season. We might have to be able to position yourself to get out of that. But just know that this is a time where you might not be feeling as confident as you normally have felt recently, and that's okay. You know, we don't have to be our strongest self all the time, and the Capricorn won't show that to anybody else, I'm sure. But just know that if you feel in that position, it's okay. You can release that. You know, this is time to rework that self-esteem in a sense. You know, release emotions around your own worth or your body, or you know, where you find security in life, and just let that go and take it for what it is, and just know you have so many other things going for you, and you're very, very abundant. So that being said, let's go on to our next transit, which is Mercury, who's going to go retrograde in Virgo on Saturday, August 12th. And it will remain retrograde as it moves back into Leo until September 5th. And so what that means for you Caps is that you're going to be reviewing and reassessing, you know, your big thoughts about life, you know, kind of your purpose, or like your spiritual questioning in a sense. Like you might kind of go down that existential rabbit hole in a sense, where you're going to be, you know, chances are you might have been presented with new info before it goes into retrograde. And then you're going to be questioning all that you just, you know, heard, especially around your own belief system. So if you hear something that doesn't jive with you, or maybe it does, but then you're wait, I don't believe that, then chances are you're going to have to go back and reassess what it is you actually believe. Because beliefs are so powerful that if we are believing something that's outdated, then we're really doing ourselves no service. So right now is a time you might be questioning your own beliefs around something, and reassessing, you know, how you can open your mind up to new experiences and thinking outside of your comfort zone, and really embracing that, because you want to understand your life more. You're ready to gain a little more, you know, kind of spiritual awareness about what all this is, and so now's the time you can kind of tap into that more. And so that when it moves back into Leo, your mind is going to be on board with how you can, like, you know, it'll already be on board with how you expand your horizons, and then you can focus your thoughts on change. Like, how can I change this? How can I transform and renew this energy within me? How can I create mental boundaries that don't let me go down these old paths? So there's a lot of that in play with this Mercury, and it really plays in with this new moons, the new moons too, I think, because it's touching back to those areas. So the last transit I want to talk about is actually Venus, who has now moved into Cancer. It's going to be opposing Pluto in Capricorn and squaring Jupiter in Libra, which I was just talking about earlier. So this is going to have a more personal flair that's going to come up. It's going to happen Tuesday and Wednesday, August 15th and 16th. And for you, it's going to be highlighting where you need to open yourself up and show a little more vulnerability in partnerships. Not always the easiest thing to do for Capricorns, but it's really calling on you to do that now. You know, and just know that if you find yourself, because this is touching down in partnerships, in your career, in your own personal power and assertion, chances are you might be confronted by someone, especially maybe in a work situation, and you might have to realize that we can't always get along. You know, you might want to quell the situation and try to appease it for what it is, but other people might not want to be hearing it right now. And so just know that you don't always have to be, you know, like, you don't always have to get along. You're not always the bad guy. You don't always have to play the good guy. Sometimes you can just honor those differences, and then try to make friends with those challenges, you know, like, to the best of your ability. You know, balance your ego with your desire to control, in a sense, and become more receptive in your partnerships and the people you deal with on a one-to-one basis. All right, Cappies, so what does the tarot have in store for you during this Leo season? Well, we have the Wheel of Fortune as your focus and the Sun as your grounding. And of all this horoscope series that I'm doing, I'd have to say your sign kind of looks the brightest, in a sense. And I think that has to do with a lot of change is going to be happening in your life. And we've already discussed this. You have, you know, you're having transformative energies enter your life right now. And so chances are you're going to see some change. And don't be alarmed because of that change and that sun there. That change is leading you to new vitality and where you need to be. So if something needs to change in life, or you're presented new opportunities that come your way, grab them, because it's leading you ultimately to your highest of good in your light and what, you know, energizes you. So I feel that some luck and opportunity might be headed your way, in a sense, and it might be a fateful month for you. So be aware of, you know, the things that are on the horizon. And it might not be cut or dry, because, you know, the wheel is about the wheel. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, you know. And so that's why it's associated with that change, is because it just keeps spinning. But because I think because it's associated with the sun, you know, it's spinning in the direction that really revitalizes your life, and you need to grab a hold of that, because it's going to tap into that confidence and self-esteem that you're going to need to make the changes in your life and to take those opportunities that come your way. So just know that you're going to feel more driven to make changes now, and so you can really tap into that energy to transform yourself and to get in a better position, essentially. You know, let your inner light shine. It's Leo season. So, you know, where can you position yourself to do that, essentially? Because you're going to be presented with more opportunities to express yourself, especially with the sun there. And it's your job to take them, you know, especially with Jupiter in your 10th house. Like, it's really shining on your career. And so there could be some changes there. But just know that the cards are really favoring you this month, Capricorn. So how are you going to use that energy and embrace some change? All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to find out more about me or find where I'm at, you can find me at energeticprinciples.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Energetic Principles. I also do a weekly podcast, astrology and tarot and inspirational quote podcast with Shauna McGrath of Neo Feminine Astrology. And that is called The Feminine Principle, Astrology for Authentic Living. All right, so I hope everyone has a wonderful Leo season. And if you like what you see here today, please subscribe to my channel and share with friends. And plus, I'd love to hear your comments and how Leo season is treating you. So please leave comments down below. So I hope everybody has a wonderful season with the Lion. And as always, may the stars be with you.